Okay, that is the last rod gone out. Let's see if we can get a fish. Hello ladies and gents, this is just a quick hello really from me. A few of you probably already know from the Facebook page that ownership of the lake has changed hands. My name's Rob. I'm lucky enough to be the new owner at Etang. I just finished an 18-year career in the military. I was in the Royal Air Force for 9 years, and then I worked in the Middle East for another 9 years. You would have seen as well that there's been a couple of posts on Facebook about improvements to the lake this winter and improvements to the lodge. So I'll just run you through that. I didn't want to keep sort of posting, you know, just words and paragraphs on Facebook. I thought it'd be nice to do a little video. Lodge wise, it's not going to be too much. We've got the little dining room. For those that have been here before, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's also some pages of it on the website. That will be a small little living room. We're going to take the wall out that goes towards the kitchen. It's all stud walls anyway, so it's quite easy. So it'll be an open plan kitchen and a little living room there for people to chill out. You know, if people come with their missus and all that, it's nice to just make it a little bit nicer for them. Apart from that, just a fresh lick of paint, and that'll be it. Lake wise, you guys that have been here the back of this season would have known from chatting to me, you know, I've been letting guys know what we're planning to do. Also on Facebook page I did as well. I'm netting it in December, middle of December, we're netting the lake. Hopefully we'll be able to get the fish down to around about 110. There's about 200 in here at the moment, and it's just too many fish for this lake. It's all right, you know, if you want to runs water and that. I've got a little bit of breathing space because when the fish are feeding here, it's very obvious that they're feeding. There's bubbles coming up, there's clouds of clay and silt coming up, they're boshing out everywhere. They're doing it today actually, so I'm hopefully we'll get fish for the camera. But they have tended to be more towards the dam wall. They are today showing up the shallow end, which is typical because I'm fishing the boathouse swim. But my plan is to dig out the shallow third of the lake. I'm waiting for permission still to drain it before the netting. But my plan is to get in there this winter with a digger, you know, dump my truck and all that, and dig it out. So part of that is to get the fish moving around, but obviously the other part of that, for those of you that have been here in the summer, you'll know the lake drops by a foot, 2 foot, depending on how hot the summer's been. So ideally after that, even if the lake does drop down 2 foot or whatever, the shallow end, sorry, will still be around about 4 foot deep. So the fish like that kind of depth in the summer. Even by the dam wall, they've still been in kind of 5 foot of water, so it should be nice up the shallow end. We'll get them moving around a bit. I'm also going to put a gravel bar in to the right side of the island up towards the shallow end, but it'll be around about 10 meters off the island, and that'll run up towards the shallow end. Won't be very big, just sort of like 20 meters long maybe by probably 3 meters wide. And it'll give everyone the opportunity to fish to a feature. There is some great features in here, but I want to get the fish moving around. So once that gravel bar's in, I'll be feeding them on that through the winter, getting used to eating on that gravel bar, finding food there and all that. Swim wise, I'm gonna make some of the swims a little bit bigger. The garden swim is a good size. It's a double swim, but it's a good size. I'd like to make the cedar swim and boathouse swim a little bit bigger, and I also like to put a double swim over the back there on what I'm starting to call the cold side of the lake. Those of you that have fished it, you'll know I'm sitting in the sun at the moment, so I'm nice and toasty, but over the other side it gets cold, really cold. So there'll be a nice double swim over there. Rules wise, I'll get to that in a moment. going back to features, a lot of people use bait boats here, as they do in France, and it's great. You know, you have your sonar, you have your bait boat, you know, it's obviously very quiet getting it out. You can find obviously features, those of you that have sonar on your boat, you'll find a lot of features. You'll find depths and gullies and all that kind of stuff, spots of clay, spots of silt, but I can't recommend it enough. Use your bait boat, that's fine. Find a general area that you want to fish, but you have to get out in the boat. You have to get in the rowing boat, and you have to go and poke around that area that you found in a bait boat. You have to go and poke around. There's some really small spots in here that are the jackpot spots. You can find a general area and it's nice and smooth clay, or it's nice, you know, sort of 6 inches of silt. The fish love it in the silt. They come out, they're all black around their mouth. It's obvious that they're eating in the silt. But in amongst those silt areas, there is dustbin lid size areas of clay, just spots of clay in the middle of a massive area of silt. Now, if you can find that, you'll never see that with a bait boat. You'll never see it. It's too small. It will never pick it up. If you go out in a rowing boat, and you'll feel it, and you'll be prodding around, silt, bang, clay spot, and it's this big, dustbin lid size, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's the spot. It gives you the confidence then to know that you're fishing in a good area. You know that you're bang on the spot, you're on it every single time, and then you can use your bait boat. Fine, take the bait boat out, put some bait in it, drop your rig, and you know you're on the money every single time. There's a mate of mine, Matt Collins. He has a lake not far from here. He did a video a little while ago on his lake when he drained his lake. Now the spots that I'm talking about, he has very similar spots in his lake that what I'm trying to explain here. So I'll leave a link in the description for that. You could go and have a look, check it out. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so just jumping back to the water level in the summer, I've applied for permission for a borehole the other side of the dam. It doesn't look likely that I'm going to get clearance to do it, but I'm still trying. The problem is the stream that feeds the lake up the shallow side also feeds the farms downstream, feeds the farms that are over the back of the lake. So in the summer, I'm not allowed to have it open. There's a fine, if it's called the DDT, is the Environmental Agency. You'll get fined. So I can't have it open in summer. It is a problem, but like I said, if I dig the lake out, and I'm going to dig out the areas in front of the swims as well, so it's a lot easier to land the fish, and it's obviously safe for them. Hopefully we do get permission for this borehole, we'll find out. But as I said, if all goes to plan, the lake will still be deep enough, even if the level does drop in summer. So we're all right there, and we've got aerators in the lake, so water quality wise, oxygen wise, the fish are fine, and the fishing will stay just as good as it always is. Promotion wise, I have a couple of promotions, not really too much, but people that have been here before, if you rebook with us and you come back, you'll receive 5 kilo of boilies and 5 kilo of pellet on arrival, just as a sort of thank you from me for coming back to us and having your holiday here. Price wise, we are doing a lot of improvements this year with the lodge, you know, the lake, as I've explained already. But I'm going to keep the price for 2022 the same as what it was this year. So it's 1,200 euros for lake exclusive. 4 people is ideal. With the new swims that I'm putting in, you could probably have 5 people here, but you'll have to go down to 2 rods. It's just too many rods in the water if you've got 5 people here. 2023, however, the price will go up to 1,350 euros, and that's really just in line with all the other lakes that have the same facilities, the same fish, and the same things to offer. To be honest, I mean, for €1,350 is still on the low side of the average for this kind of lake, but I will just increase it to that 2023. So 2022, next year, that's the year to get in early. Returning customers, you get a nice bit of bait when you get here, and it's nice and cheap. You'll have a good holiday, plenty of fish in here. There shouldn't be anything under £30 left in here after the netting in December, and hopefully with the feeding schedule that we've got planned, I'm working with a fish farmer. There's also the guy that's doing the netting for me. His fish put on 3 kilos a year thanks to his feeding program. So I'm working with him, very excited to get the fish putting on some weight, and I'm fairly confident at the end of next season we might have our first 60 out of here. We'll see. Okay, so booking wise, if you want to book in for next year, I mean, you can contact me on Facebook through Messenger and that. And there's also our website, etangdelandes.co.uk. You can book through there. You can there's a send inquiry on the homepage. Towards the bottom of the homepage, you can click on there and send me a message through there. Hopefully things are calming down with the virus and all that, travelling restrictions. It looks like things are getting better. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. Because of that though, your deposits for next year, I won't take deposits until 4 weeks before your trip. It's just safer for you as customers, and it makes it a little bit easier for me, to be honest, rather than giving you refunds on your deposit, which I would, or giving you another week the year after, which is also very easy to do. But if I keep it at 4 weeks, it gives me enough time to either try and resell that week, or plan some maintenance, or get rid of the missus for a week and fish my lake. So we'll keep it like that. As I say, hopefully things don't get worse. We'll keep it as that 4 weeks before. You can still reserve your week and get in touch with me anytime, and I'll put you on the books, and that week will be safe for you. So that's not a problem at all. Okay, right, getting to the rule changes. It's nothing major really. There's just some things that I like to do as a fisherman. You know, I like to use glugs on all my bait. I like to use hook baits that have been soaked in, you know, smoke and Supreme and all that kind of stuff. I think it's something to bring into your fishing that we all kind of do a little bit differently, I think. My favourite is a white pop-up in bumbleberry. You know, we all have our own little habits and little tips and tricks that we think that give us an edge. So glug wise, soaking your feed pellets and boilies and all that in oils and glugs and all that stuff, it's absolutely fine, as long as it's from a well-known company, a tackle shop or whatever. That's fine by me. You can only bring 2 kilos into France anyway of hook baits and feed, and they are cracking down on that, so be careful what you bring and what you do. There is a good tackle shop in Le Mans called Pacific Pesh, it's called, and they have a lot of mainline stuff in there. They have Nash and a few other ones. The only thing that I would ask, if you do go to a tackle shop here in France, only buy a mainstream brand of boilies. There's a lot of cheap rubbish boilies out here that if you buy it and you bring it to the lake, I can't let you put it in the lake. It's not good for the fish. Some of them, you know, they're 10 euros for 5 kilos of bait, you know. So there's nothing good in them at all. I can't have it going in the lake. The fish's welfare is always priority, you know. It's keeps the fish pristine, and it keeps them growing well, you know, and makes it a lot more exciting and nice for when you come back, you know, for the next customer. The guys are on the week after you, the week after that. guys that have been here and caught the fish in there, you'll know they are immaculate. There's a few that have come out this year. They spawned really late this year, so there's a few that have come out and they've still got a couple of marks on them from spawning, but generally there's not a mark on them, and I'd like to keep it that way. So a couple of the rule changes, as I've said already, glugs, dips and all that stuff, absolutely fine, bring it with you. Particle wise, again, no nuts at all, please, no nuts whatsoever. You can bring particle, you can bring hemp, sweet corn and all that stuff, just bring it from a tackle shop. Please don't cook it up at home. I can't have you know, stuff that's gone off or it's not been cooked properly. Just buy it from the tackle shop, and sweet corn and all that stuff, buy it from the supermarket. It's easier anyway, it's much easier. You're not going to need a load of that when you come here, because they love the pellet, they love the boilies, but it might give you an edge, you know. Sometimes, like last week, they just switched off. As I said already, you know, you'll see them in here when they're in the mood for feeding. You'll see bubbles, you see clouds, they jump out all over the place. Last week was a bit different. There was nothing really showing. There was a few showing at night time, but apart from that, there wasn't anything there, you know. They just weren't in the mood for feeding. We had a lot of cold rain come in. I mean, it was 3 degrees at night. It's lovely today. I mean, I'm roasting today. It's 23 today, and they're all moving around. I can see them moving around. But yeah, back to the particle and all that. Bring as much as you want. I don't mind. As I said, be aware getting it through the border when you come to France. They're cracking down on the amount of foods and stuff like that that you bring in. Going up to mainline, it was £15 before. I'm going to increase that to £18, just because there's no snags in here, but £15 on a big fish, you know, there's a few fish over £50 in here. At the right time of year, there's 5 or 6 fish that are over £50. There's no difference fishing wise to having like spooking the fish wise. There's no difference at all. Having £15 mainline or £18 mainline, it makes no difference to catching the fish, especially if you use a good fluorocarbon. As we all know, they're pretty much invisible in the water. You're not casting too far out here. You're probably casting 60-70 yards max. And as I say, you know, people use bait boats as it is, but you know, some people like to cast. I like to cast, but you know, every now and again I like to use the boat as well. You know, if I see fish over a spot, I'm not going to be chucking a lead out there. I'll get the boat in and go out nice and quiet. But yeah, £18 will be the new restriction on the main line. With that, and keeping fluorocarbon in mind, 75 centimeters of rig tubing needs to be on the main line. I was saying 1 meter before, but it's hard to get 1 meter of tubing up a main line. 75 centimeters is quite easily, especially if you've got something like a fluorocarbon main line. That thread's pretty easy. For guys that like to use lower diameter main line, you can soak it in soapy water, fill it up with soapy water, run your thumb fingers down it just to push some of the water through, and it'll slide in nice and easily. There's no issues with that at all. Or just get yourself a nice long piece of fluorocarbon and poke it through and pull it back through. You can do it either way you like, but I mean, soapy water is my favourite way to do it anyway. So that's the main line sorted out. When you got your tubing on, however you like to use. I like to use inline leads. If I know I'm fishing on a hard bottom, I'll use lead clips. If I'm fishing on something soft. Either way, your main line needs to go through the tubing, through your lead system, whichever one you're using, straight to a swivel. Now it can be either straight to quick change swivel, or you can go to a normal swivel and just loop your rigs on. Personally, I like to loop my rigs on, but if I'm fishing, you know, a boom section, obviously I need a quick change swivel. With those in mind, either way, whichever clips you want to use, whatever swivels you want to use, you must have a piece of silicone or a piece of anti-tangle sleeve cut off at the end, push over that swivel, especially for a clip or a quick change swivel. I'm sure the guys that have been fishing for a long time, you will have seen it. When you get the fish in the net, if that clip is not covered in silicone or the end of an anti-tangle sleeve, it will get caught in the net, and if the fish thrashes around while it's in the net, the only thing that can come out is the hook, and it will just tear the fish's lip to bits. All right, so we have to make sure there's a piece of silicone over the end of that clip or a piece of anti-tangle sleeve. Personally, I like to just cut the end of an anti-tangle sleeve off and push it over the swivel. It's nice and tight, doesn't go anywhere. It's a bit easier than some big pieces of silicone. They're too loose, some of them. Hook wise, it's not really, there's no change to it. I just wanted to sort of mention it on this video. Micro barb hooks only, please. Not barbed, not barbless. Barbed hooks they're just evil. There's no need to have a barb that big for a carp. But micro barb hook, please, not barbless hooks. Barbless hooks make too much of a hole in the fish's lips. Again, when you come here, if you come here and the guys that have fished here already, you'll see the hook holes in the fish's mouth. You just don't see it. As long as you treat it when the fish is on the bank, there's no hook hold. You'll see the fish's mouths that come out when you catch them. They're immaculate, and that's in my opinion, that's because of a micro barb hook. So we'll keep it as micro barbs. So fish wise, the rule before was anything over 50 pounds needs to be photographed in the water. I'm going to reduce that weight, so it'll be 45 pound. Anything over 45 pound, you can have it out in the net. Put it in the sling as you take it out of the water. You can weigh it, and then you need to get back in the water. I've got all the stuff here, the mats that float for you to get in the lake with it. I've got waders, everything you need here. There's landing nets, slings, cradles, waders. Please don't bring anything from another lake that you've used. Don't bring your waders, don't bring your net, don't bring your landing mats or nothing like that. I've got everything here. So yeah, 45 pound has to be in the water, please. All right, just be aware when you do get in the water, it's going to be sort of waist deep for next season, because I'll be digging them out. All right, while you're in your swims, I don't mind. You can have a barbecue in your swim. People like, you know, on the hot side, if you like. It's nice to have a barbecue. You know, you can just turn your bite alarms up. It's not an issue. You can go and sit in the sea to swim, or you can sit on the grass or whatever and have a nice barbecue. You don't have to have it up the house, just have it down by the lake. That's not an issue. Like I said, I'll be making a nice double swim over the backside as well, over the cold side, and I'll get another barbecue for over there, so it's nice and easy, have it by the lake. With that in mind, there's plenty of logs and that lying around. If you want to have a fire in the barbecue on an evening, you know, after you've had your dinner, put a couple of logs on it, that's fine as well. There's loads of logs lying around. Just don't be ripping my trees down, please. There's enough logs sitting around. As long as you keep it sensible, you know, just a nice little fire, it's fine by me. It's nice to have a fire when you're chilling out having a couple of beers. Alright, so the dam wall, it's out of bounds. Generally it's out of bounds. Don't mind if you're fishing tall trees or mistletoe or the boathouse swims. You go out there maybe once or twice a day and bait up, that's fine, but please try and keep it to a minimum. I have to try and protect that dam wall for obvious reasons as much as possible. But you can go down there once or twice a day. No, you don't really need to do more than that just to bait up wherever you're fishing. Okay, one last thing from me. Obviously with my military background, the charity Help for Heroes is something that's very close to my heart. I've done work for them in the past. I'd like to carry on doing work for them in the future as well. Even if I can only raise a small amount of money, they make it go a long way. They do great things for soldiers that have been injured. They do great things for families that need support. And like I said, they really do make it go a long way. So what I'm going to do, 1st of November till the 1st of February every year, there'll be a draw that you can enter. I'll make a Just Giving page. I've done that already for this year. It's on the Facebook page. Every probably month or so, I'll repost the link for that on Facebook, just so that it comes to the top of the news feed. If you go on there and you donate £10 or more, that will get you a ticket into the draw. If you donate £20, that'll get you 2 tickets, and obviously so on and so forth. And it'll be for 1 week's fishing at the lake. It'll be for a week of your choosing, as long as it's available. Obviously, you can come whenever you like. All you need to do is get yourself here and buy the bait when you're here. The bait that you do buy when you're here, I'm not keeping that money. That will also go towards the charity, and we'll try our very best to raise what we can. Those guys, you know, they are heroes. It's not just a name for a charity, they are heroes. My job in the Air Force, I was on 99 Squadron at Brize and Alton. You would have seen papers, you know, the pictures in the papers and the news of injured soldiers coming home, and you know, unfortunately some deceased soldiers coming home. That was our job. We went to pick them up. So I've seen firsthand what happens, you know, and I've seen firsthand what the charity does as well. So hopefully we'll raise a little bit of money to help them out. Well, I've got my waders on, but that's not because I've had a fish. I've been in the water, just finishing up the boathouse swim. By the time you watch this, you would have seen photos on Facebook of it. Didn't catch anything yesterday. It's when I started doing these videos. Not surprising really. I mean, I've been in here with a chainsaw and strimmer and sledgehammer and all that stuff, so not surprising really. The fish have all been up the shallow end. Obviously we've had some cold water come in. It's getting cold on the night time now, sort of 2 or 3 degrees at night, and then 17 in the day, so they are up the shallow end. But I've not gone up there with my rods, you know. I want them to be comfortable going up there. Don't want them to associate that area with danger straight away, so I've left them alone. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, just a quick hello from me, a couple of updates for what's happening this winter over the lake and the lodge. If there's some content that you would like me to do, I'm going to start doing some YouTube videos as and when I get time. If there's content that you would like to see, I'm going to do run-throughs of each swim, you know, the spots and all that are out there, tactics and all that work on the lake. You know, the great thing about this lake is it's not the same tactic that works every week. You know, there's guys that have come and all they've caught on is pop-ups for the week. There's guys that have come, all they've caught on is particle for the week, you know, bottom baits for a week. You know, the fish move around, and it's great because they don't get used to seeing the same thing every time. You know, it's very easy to come to France. You know what rigs you're going to put in straight away. You're going to put a 6-inch, 8-inch bottom bait rig on, and that's you for the whole week. It's fine, you know, it's great, you're going to catch fish and all that, but it's a bit more of a challenge here. It's nice. You can come here, you can put 3 rods on different rigs, different baits. You know, you can find different spots, you can find different depths depending on where the fish are showing and what they're feeding. It gives you a little bit of a challenge, you know. So it's really nice. I'm going to do some videos on that, rigs and all that sort of thing. I'm going to do a couple of videos on bait boats, how to use bait boats properly on this lake, and some basics for them wherever you're going to go and fish. I'll do a couple of run-throughs on rigs, because rigs here are a bit different to everywhere else. People that have been here, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And as I said, I'll go through the swims, I'll run through the spots and all that stuff, give you guys a bit of a heads up. But if there's any content you'd like me to do, just let me know, comment below, and we'll go from there. Give a subscription, thumbs up and all the good stuff, and hopefully see you over here sometime.